Well, he's had practice. He's missed it 3 out of 5 frames already, so he should know where to throw this to make it.
And that's what he's saying to himself. I've missed the head pin on this left-hand lane three times.
A little boom, boom.
A little more roll and a spare for Glenn-Allison. So we're at the midway point of match number 1. We'll take a break here from Escondido, California. A 22-pin lead for local pro Lee Taylor. Nothing quite like Southern California, right, Mike Durbin? Of course, you grew up just a couple hours from here.
Yeah, I grew up in Burbank, California, and I've always loved Southern California. Didn't get interested in golf until I met you, but...
That's right, and you're still learning.
Right.
Look at the bright side. There are plenty of years left.
Well, when I got an expert like you to teach me.
That's right, but you're going to be on the senior tour bowling here pretty soon, so then you're going to be, well, in a quandary. Is it golf or bowling at that point?
Well, it was bowling earlier today.
Right. Ahead by 22, but not out of reach at this point. Sweet shot there, though, for Lee Taylor, who mixed up the rack.
See, what I like about Lee on synthetic lanes is how smooth the ball goes into the lane. There's not, sometimes you hear this boom, boom. With Lee, most of his good shots, it's just smooth, and you can hardly hear the ball hit the lane. I think that's the best type of delivery on synthetic lanes.
You've already mentioned the fact that Lee has been working out recently with PBA Hall of Famer John Jowdy. And I know one of the things that Jowdy really likes to impress on his students is to get the ball down and through the lane constantly, which is what Taylor is doing right now.
See how smooth that was?
With a break, leaves just the 10-pin.
See, the problem, Dan, is that if the player goes away with the ball at all, if Lee goes away, and as straight as he throws it, it's just not going to make it back at all. So he's got to point it toward the 1-3 to begin with, and the tendency is you just don't trust it, and you point it a little bit too much, and it goes right to the nose like that shot. It takes an absolutely perfect shot. At the spare. The reason Lee is swinging that ball ahead of time is Jowdy has got him doing that to try and loosen the swing up, to let gravity pull that swing down rather than controlling it with muscle.
His son Mike, an outstanding player on the PBA National Tour.
It hooks it more than one ball than Lee will all night tonight.
Mm-hmm. He can get it from one end to the other. Big time rotation. Allison right back at him, and if you make a good, clean, crisp, professional shot, you can hit the pocket. You just better not miss by much.
That's correct, Ed. That's right.
See, so many times, you know, as I travel throughout the country, people say, boy, it was the scores last night on the show, they weren't really that high. And I say, yeah, but it was an excellent show. It doesn't make any difference how high or low they are as long as the matches are close and the lanes are fair.
That's correct, Eddie. And again, you got to remember that we're not trying to put out a condition where the guys are going to average 250 on it. We're trying to put out something that's professional.
This has been the trouble lane, and he got all of that one. Needed some help. 6-pin, wiggled the 10. That would have been a key double for Glenn-Allison.
That would have got the match within 12 pins. Right now, he's got to hope for a mistake by Lee Taylor. Although Glenn still has a potential score of 193 if you pick this up and strike all the way out.
Allison had a high game of 260 this week. His low effort was 158.
Needs to convert this. No trouble.
Normally, Glenn works for us statistically in the truck. Told me this evening that as much as he enjoys working with the ESPN crew, he does get a better payday when he makes the championship round.
Just by a couple dollars.
Right, that's what he said. So, wonderful ambassador to the game for many, many years, Glenn-Allison. Down quickly. Boy, a beautiful shot that time on lane 28 for Lee Taylor. If he can put one more together right now, he'll be in excellent position.
His wife looks a little uptight there. He's having trouble breathing.
She looks very nervous.
It's always harder on them.
225 would be his best possible score.
No matter what he does here, Dan, if Allison strikes out, Lee is going to have to show up and mark in the 10th frame.
And that's exactly what Glenn is already thinking to himself.
Tough spare, 2.58. See, the thumb just didn't come out as clean on that shot, and the ball never turned over.
Well, is that the adjustment from the shot he threw before through the nose?
Yeah, the left lane I don't think holds as well as the right lane does for him. So he knows if he goes up a little bit too much, it's going through the nose. That time, though, it was the release. He did not get the thumb out of the ball clean. Trouble.
Well, 9 out for Lee Taylor in the 9th. Now his best possible score would be 193. It's a 10-pin match, and this one has changed dramatically here in the latter stages.
And we have a potential of a tie score here. It just never, twice now we've seen professional bowlers miss that lead pin, both times the 2-pin. The reason they do that is they're afraid of chopping that 2 off the 5. Way out there. He might get 6. He might manage 7. Just looking at his thumb, that something happened there. Better than the washouts, though, that he was leaving. But it really put him in a bad situation. He's concentrating here. Watch the ball just fall off his hand here. He's always opened his hand up like that, and he knew it as soon as he let it go.
And shocked at the miss. Both players with open frames in the 9th frame, and this is a little bit of giveaway going on here in match number 1.
Right. I mean, there was the opportunity. Taylor opened. Allison, if he strikes out, really puts himself in a commanding position, making Taylor get all 3. Right now, he's going to equal his low game of the tournament with just a strike spare in the 150s.
And instead of a shot to go ahead, he now trails by 24. Never fails. You always carry when it doesn't mean much.
Well, you're relaxed, and then the ball goes to target. Well, if he gets one more, he still makes Lee show up. And as we saw a couple of weeks ago, it is possible for these guys to throw it in the channel.
Oh, anything's possible. There's no such thing as a gimme. No matter what happens, a very solid week for Glenn-Allison. Might as well cross over and strike. So one more, and you're right. Lee Taylor has to show up and get something done in the 10th frame.
On the Brooklyn. Way on the Brooklyn.
Yeah, Glenny just trying to finish this one out and head back to the barn. This was not the kind of start or finish that he was hoping for here in the championship round.
Well, he needs 4 pins on 2 balls. I think either you or I can handle that then.
The Gary Player look here this evening for Lee Taylor. Yep. I think he can handle it, and he does. Leaves a solid 4. So Taylor advances into game number 2 for Glenn-Allison, a 5th place finish and a check worth $2,800. And don't forget, coming up next, Average Builders, the first of the brand new season with Mike Durbin concerning how you throw strikes on those synthetic lanes.